All right, Shalom. Shalom. First and foremost, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutation to the hopeful elect. And I'm just going to get right into it. Something that's been on my spirit lately, or it always is something I think about, but it resurfaced last night. I was watching this video on YouTube. It was of this Israelite man with the world calls the so-called, as we know, the tribe of Judah is the world calls the tribe of Judah, you so-called black people, you Negroes, which that's just one tribe out of the 12 tribes. All right, the Israelites are not just so-called black people. All right, but I was watching this Israelite on YouTube. Okay, and by the way, you Israelites are the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native Americans, and anybody else whose spirit truly resonates with these words and has faith in the names Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, you're Israelite. You also are Israelite. But yeah, I was watching this YouTube video of this Jake, man, and he was with these two Israelite women. And pretty much he was flirting with these women. He brought these two, they were twin sisters. He brought these twin sisters back to his apartment and they were flirting together and he was recording it. And that's what he does on his YouTube channel. He flirts with women and post the footage and shit. But when he was, he was flirting with these women, you could just see how polluted and impure and corrupt the Israelite woman's spirit is nowadays. If you watch, I didn't lost the video, but the point is, upon watching that video, you can see how polluted the Israelite women are and how overly sexualized America has made our women, and our men have become extremely overly sexualized. Okay, the woman on the spirit on these women, on these twins that he was flirting with at his house was just disgusting. All right, first of all, they were dressed half naked. They had their thighs and legs, feet all out, half of their stomach out, half of their breasting out. So they 70 to 80% undressed, which is immodest. All right, that's not how a noble woman would dress. And then you can just see that these women are overly sexualized. Every single word out of their mouth has to be a sexual joke. All right, they got no shame, they got no modesty. One of the women doing the video, and this is on YouTube. Okay, I just came across it. This was on YouTube. One of the women was digging down the pants of the man during the video. Like, while her other sister was in the room, she just had her hands in his pants, digging in his pants, knowing that he's recording it. No type of shame, no type of self-awareness of how you look. And that's the spirit on majority of our women nowadays, because this Western society, North America, is an overly sexualized society. And that is a part of the reason why it's going to be destroyed, is because the sexual immorality that is bred from this overly sexualized and perverted society. So I'm going to read a little bit of this article and get some scriptures to rebuke and cut that way of life. And Lord willing, it's edifying. So it says, why are women and girls often the victim of violence? And I'm going to get the point that I want. Okay, it says a report by the American Psychological Association, PDF, APA, on the sexualization of girls in the media found that girls are depicted in a sexual manner more often than boys, dressed in revealing clothing and with bodily postures or facial expressions that imply sexual readiness. In a study of print media, researchers at Wesleyan University found that on average, across 58 different magazines, 51.8% of advertisements that featured women portrayed them as sex objects. However, when women appeared in advertisements in men's magazines, they were objectified 76% of the time. Social media has amplified age-old pressures for teenage girls to conform to certain sexualized narratives. According to a study published by the American Journal of Psychiatry, the study examined the sexting habits of teens and found that between 10% and 25% of adolescents surveyed had sent sex texts. photos or texts of sexual nature, and 15% to 35% have received sex. Hypersexualized models of femininity in the media affects the mental, emotional, and physical health of girls and women on a global scale. So that's pretty much the point. All right. As you can see, this hypersexualized society that is America has completely affected and polluted the minds of the Israelite woman and the Israelite man. And everything has its proper order in life, and that includes how and when you have sex. And that order has been thrown out of order over here in America, and that is a completely displeasing and wicked way to walk, all right, to live your life. It is this over-sexualized society in America is displeasing to the Lord, and it's wicked as all hell. All right, let's get this first scripture, 1 Corinthians 14 and 40. It says, let all things be done decently and in order. So everything in life has its own order. When you read, I believe, Ecclesiastes 1, or somewhere in the book of Ecclesiastes, it goes into how there's a time to dance, there's a time to run, all right, a time to walk and laugh, a time to mourn, a time to pluck up, your plants and all that. So it's pretty much telling you that there is an order to everything. Everything has its proper order. You wake up in the morning, you pray, you brush your teeth, you drink your water. Later on, you work out, and then you eat dinner at like 5, 6. So even your life, everything in life has an order. So again, 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, let all things, you see, it said all things, let all things be done decently and in order. So what does that include? That includes sex, okay? There is an order to when, where, and how we as Israelites are supposed to have sex. And that order has been completely thrown out of course in this wicked ass, overly sexualized Western society. Nowadays, you can't even flirt with a woman without a woman just directly talking about sex and the shit that she wants done to her in bed. This society is perverted, man. Do you think in the ancient day, which when you read the scriptures and when you look at Middle Eastern culture, there was an actual way that women were getting married. Okay, majority of the time it was a virgin woman. And as we know in the ancient day, not nowadays, we know in the ancient day, women got married young, a lot younger, all right? And their bodies were fully matured and developed a lot younger, around the age of like 12, 13 is when their bodies were actually matured and becoming like a real woman. And this was thousands of years ago, all right? We're talking about, this was the way, the way it was in the Middle East in the ancient day. But women actually got married off, man, to different households, okay? Israelite women, sometimes they got sold to a man. Sometimes the Israelite woman's parents would give her to a certain man, an apostle to her. And all the elders been making videos on it lately, which that's not my main point on this video. But it's just a segue point to show you that there's an order to marriage. There's an order to these things. Nowadays in this society, all these women are just sex freaks. They have no control over their lust, no control over their desires. Every single conversation with a woman nowadays has to be about sex, right? They're always talking. They always talking about what they like in the bedroom and all this shit. A woman is not supposed to just talk about that to anybody. You only talk about that with your husband. And if he's not your husband, then you don't fucking talk about that type of stuff. You're doing 20v1s on YouTube and all this shit. It's completely sexual immorality, man. And it's undecent. All right, because when we look at this verse, 1 Corinthians 14 and 40, it says, let all things be done decently and in order. Now, if we go into this word decently, it says what? The outline of biblical usage. It says, in a seemly manner, decently. In a seemly manner, decorously, decently, honesty. So it says in a seemly manner. Now let's look up this word seemly real quick. All right, the word seemly just on Google, it says conforming to accepted notions of property or good taste. All right, again, going into order. All right, you have accepted notions of property or good taste. Accepted notions of property meaning what? Modest apparel. All right, the proportion of your clothes in proportion to your body. Okay, that's what the word decent is going to. You know, acceptable clothing. All right. Acceptable to what? The ways of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, which a woman, a true God-fearing woman is supposed to dress in modest apparel. All right. 1 Timothy 2:9. It says, woman instructed. It says, in like manner also that women adorn themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls or costly array. So clearly, again, what is the video about is that this over-sexualized society in America is completely wicked. Okay, it's completely out of order. There's no decency, and it's overly sexualized, man. These women don't dress modestly, and nowadays there's even such thing as modest apparel for a man. Okay, Elder Apostle Dahar put out the order about not wearing, shorts and tank tops and stuff at camp for a reason, because that's the spirit of the Lord on him to say those things, because Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai has created, there's an order to everything in life. Nowadays, you even got men walking around with booty shorts on, all right? Shorts that don't even come to their knee, stop halfway to their thigh, tight as shit on their butt, and what? Those type of shorts make it easy to see a man's penis, man, shaking when he walks and shit like that. A man isn't supposed to wear those booty shorts. That's wicked, man. That's sexually enticing for women out here. Tank tops on, no shirt on. We're not supposed to dress like that. Okay, our garments come down to our feet for a reason. In the ancient day, we had a much bigger, we had bigger bodies and bigger dicks, man. Bigger everything. Women's back then, bigger asses, bigger tits. Everything was bigger back then. There's a scripture in Sirach that says that. But nowadays, even, we've been weakened, we're smaller, we're still Israelites, man. So you still got to dress in a modest way. Now, if you look up, because what did I read earlier? We read that article about the over-sexualization of women in America and how it affects the young woman's mind, and how social media and how the woman nowadays, in every article they're in, every newspaper, every single magazine, they always have to portray women in a sexual way. That's wicked. And then that affects the young woman mind, because young women are impressionable and easily influenced. And then, as you see, this is I looked up Nicki Minaj on Google Images, and then this is also what influences our people is music and the music artists. And these are just further proof and reason as to why America is wicked as hell. America is sexually immoral. And you may not be a big deal to you because it's been normalized to you, but it's a big deal to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and he's not pleased with this way of living in America, which we know is biblically Babylon the Great. Okay? We as the Israelites, we're supposed to be noble. We're supposed to have decency and manners to the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we dress, and all of our mannerisms and the way we conduct ourselves, man. Royalty. Now as you see, what did I look up? Nicki Minaj on Google Images. Now, as you can just see, every single photo that she's dressed in a sexually immoral and perverted way. And the Lord is not pleased with this. As you can see, look, she has her thighs all out. She got something covering her butt barely, glued to this glued to her ass. You can just clearly make out the shape of her ass. All right, thighs all out. Okay. Look at this. An Israelite woman is not supposed to be wearing this, man. This is an overly sexualized society's clothing right here. And it's wicked and disgusting. And the Lord is going to kill a lot of you Israelite women are going to die when all hell breaks loose. A lot of y'all are going to die terrible ways. And you men contribute to the problem as well. So a lot of y'all are going to be put to death too. That's why the scriptures say 2/3 of the nation of Israel is going to die here in America. 66.6% of our people, majority of them are going to die. So as you see, everything that Nicki Minaj is wearing is sexually immoral. An Israelite woman's not supposed to wear this, man. Okay? Again, majority, 80% of the legs out. Look at this, 70% of the breast out. The whole breast is out except the nipple. This is wicked. The Lord's not with this. Okay, he doesn't give a damn about her name being Nicki Minaj, Beyonce. The Lord said he's not a respecter of persons. See, if you Google Beyonce, again, all of this clothing, look, this is sexually immoral. This is wickedness. This is the shit that is going to get a lot of you women killed. And because you may watch this video and you may think it's not a big deal, or that he's tripping, or that I'm old and I got to get with the times. No, these times that y'all are in are going to get y'all killed and slaughtered. Y'all are going to die. Terrible deaths here in America because you couldn't get in order. You see, Beyonce, she's gonna die. Nicki Minaj, all these celebrities, they're done. Okay? So again, let's go back to 1 Timothy 2:9. It says what? 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also, that women adorn themselves in modest apparel with shamefacedness and sobriety. And like I said, what inspired this video, I was watching this Israelite man. He brought two women back to his, two sisters, two twins back to his apartment, and they were not his wives. Okay? And the two women were just completely wicked because they were dressed in revealing clothing, and all they talked about was sex. Damn near the whole thing. All they flirted about was sex. That's not the ways of our people, man. We didn't used to talk like this in the ancient day. You know, a woman, you're not just supposed to go up to a woman that's not your wife and talk about sex with her. That's off, man. You only talk about sex with your woman if she's literally your wife, man. If she's your woman, you're not supposed to. It's not a fucking casual conversation, or just because we're grown-ups now you can just talk about how you want to fuck everybody and they mama every single conversation. That's gross, man. That's disgusting. You're not supposed to just talk about that like a casual conversation. An Israelite woman is only supposed to talk about that shit with her man in private. That's not something everybody got to hear. That's not decent. There's no manners in that. Okay? We're not supposed to just talk about that shit, man. You think in the kingdom of heaven, you're just going to go up to, you think that you're just going to go up to, you know what I'm saying, random women and openly, publicly record it to the mass millions, talk about the shit you want to do to her? That shit you do in private, man. Order is going to be established back on the planet. Okay? Now, when you go into that word modest, what does it say? That word modest, it says well arranged, seemingly modest. Okay? Strong's definition, orderly. You see, it says orderly, man. So the word modest directly goes back to orderly. All right? Well arranged in what? Is proper order. Decorous, of good behavior, modest. So modesty means that the clothing that you wear is well arranged in order. All right? What type of order? What? Covering your body. Okay? So a lot of you Israelite women that y'all may look up to Beyonce or Nicki Minaj, Cardi B, Megan the Freak, and Megan the Stallion. A lot of y'all that look up to these women and want to talk the way they talk and dress the way they dress, that's going to get a lot of y'all killed. This whole, and I've never really been on the same, even when I was young, even before I found out about the truth, I always used to think this way, man. A lot of these women just freaks. Like I said, no self-control over their lust, nothing. And it always used to turn me off. You know, I never liked women walking around with tight dresses. I've never liked that. You know, I've always hated it in my spirit. I may have not known why, but now I know. Because that's just unmodest. Okay? A lot of people in my life say I'm an old-fashioned individual. Well, the ways of the old are better than the ways of the new. And I've never liked the way these women dress. I've never liked it when they come up to me dressed in that provocative way, because it's just wicked, you know? Well, I know a woman has breasts and titties and ass. I know the physical breakdown of a woman's body. That doesn't mean that I gotta see it on front display while I'm shopping at Walmart. I'm not supposed to see that shit, man. You're supposed to see a woman's naked body in the bedroom, and that's it. I'm not supposed to be able to make out the shape of your ass and the shape of your tits with the clothes you got on. That's wicked. Okay, that's wicked as hell. That's like a man walking around with a dick outliner and you can see the shape of his balls and his penis. That's wicked as hell. That's wicked. And this has been normalized in society to the point where you jakes don't see nothing wrong with it. But it's really gross and disgusting, man, to the Lord and to those in the right mentality. And then let's go back in 1 Timothy 2. And then it says what? It says with shamefacedness. Let's go into that word shamefacedness. It says a sense of shame or honor, modesty, bashfulness, regard for others. So now this is going into a woman's character. A woman's character, she's supposed to have some shame to her. You know? Which that's like, again, bashfulness. Pretty much meaning like humility, man. Supposed to be low key. Not trying to be seen by everybody. Supposed to be standing behind her man. Not loud and obnoxious, trying to be seen, trying to show off her ass and tits. A woman nowadays is the complete opposite of shamefacedness, man. Because they've been pumped up with pride, again, in what? This overly sexualized society, man. America, which is biblically Babylon the Great, is an overly sexualized freak of a society, and it's part of the reason it's going to be destroyed. Just like Sodom and Gomorrah was an overly sexualized society and the act of sodomy, well, America is that times 10, times a million. So this word shamefacedness, online it says shamefacedness is a noun that means feeling embarrassed or ashamed of oneself. Okay? So that's kind of the spirit that you women are supposed to walk around in. All right, not literally that you're embarrassed that you're a woman. Like, no, it really means you're just supposed to have a sense of humility. You know, you're supposed to be humble. You know, keep your head low, again, behind your husband, quiet. Of course, there are settings where you can talk and have fun at home with your husband or with your close family or relatives or with your female friends. You know, we're not saying women can't have fun and live. No, you have fun and live in proper order, man. And this whole society is out of order. And it's wicked as hell. All right. And then we go into that word sobriety. And it says what? Soundness of mind, self-control. See, now we've gone into a couple words in this verse, but this is one of the most important for what I'm talking about. The word sobriety, it says it means soundness of mind and self-control. Self-control is what is completely lacking in this society. And it's not just the woman's fault, it's the man's fault as well. Okay? And the man, they play a big role of it too. A part of this society being overly sexualized is because the Israelite man contributes to that as well. Okay? You got a lot of Israelite men, you know, they pretty much cheer on the Israelite woman to walk around naked and to act like a hoe and to twerk. You know, they cheer on, you know, they say, oh, let her do what she want. She's grown, you know, so they support that behavior. You know, they engage in these over-sexualized conversations around a lot of people. You know, they promote twerking, these women twerking at these parties and shit. So the man contributes to that as well. But what? it's there is no sobriety, meaning there is no self-control in this society on both sides. You women have no self-control over your desires, over your lust. These men have no self-control over their desires or their lust. All right. The scriptures speak about temperance, which means self-control, which is sobriety. All right. Galatians 5:23, it says, or 22, it says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law. And what does the word temperance mean? Self-control. The virtue of one who masters his desires and passions, sensual appetites. So self-control is somebody that has mastery or control over your desires and your passions. And that's a part of the fruit of the Spirit, is to have self-control, temperance. And that's what's lacking in this overly sexualized society. Okay. Do you not think that Yahweh Bashem Yahushai understands that we are built with different hormones and shit that make us want to have sex? Of course the Lord knows we get horny. He knows that it's natural for us to desire the opposite sex. That's why he set up marriage in its proper order, man. Which there's laws on marriage. You can look up Middle Eastern marriage culture because we're from the Middle East. So there's a certain way that your sexual appetites are supposed to be fulfilled. That's why women got married in the ancient day when they were young. So that when they got married as soon as they became a woman, when they were a young woman. That way, they're in their youth and they have a husband, and they're going to get their sexual appetites met, and then they're going to have kids. But nowadays, it's completely thrown off course. Okay? These women out here just being freaks, doing what they want. You know, they don't know how to control themselves. They don't know how to look for a husband. They can't control their horniness, so they use that as an excuse to just get dicked down by everybody. And it's gross and it's unbecoming of a proper woman. You know, they can't control themselves. They can't control their desires. So every single time they're horny, it's extremely easy for a woman to get sex than it is a man. So a lot of these women, every time they get horny, because they have no self-control over their desires, they just go out there and try to find a man to sleep with, man. And when they do that, when a woman has multiple bodies, you're becoming lower and less valuable. You're losing your value. You know, you're used goods. You're washed up, ran through. Not only that, you're putting demons on yourself. You know, because you're taking on the spirit of those men that you sleep with. You know, you're taking that man's semen. It's his energy. It's his life. And so you're taking on that man's spirits on you. Now you're all messed up in your head because you got a whole bunch of niggas' spirits inside of you. Energies mixing inside of you. So it's all because you people have no self-control that this society has been reduced to this overly sexualized way of life, where just because you're young, that's an excuse to be a whore and to sleep around. That's wicked, and the Lord is not with that. Now I'm gonna get two more and end it. All right, this is Hebrews 13:4. And marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers the Most High will judge. So clearly it said marriage is honorable. You know, marriage is a good thing. And the proper biblical understanding of marriage is simply when a man takes the virginity of a woman. Okay, or when a man has sex with a woman, that becomes his wife. Okay, marriage is when two people join together. So of course, another aspect to marriage is your households can join together. Your families can, your parents can give their blessing to you all becoming one. And then, if I'm not mistaken, there's law. We have a custom of A man would go into the tent with the woman while the parents were like waiting somewhere else, and he would go in there like with a white cloth, and then he would take the woman's virginity. He would lay the cloth down on the bed where they have sex, and he would take her virginity, and then he would come out and show, the blood to the to both sides of the parents, and that white cloth with the blood on it is a sign that she was a virgin, and that now that's his wife. And then he would show it to the parents, and then I think one of the parents would pay the other. All right, I haven't looked it up in a while. Hey, but that's a part of our culture. So there is a proper way that you can get that we're supposed to get married. But literally, marriage in itself is a man sleeping with a woman. Again, your parents can come together, your households can come together to become one, but marriage is just when a man sleeps with a woman, that's his wife. So the scriptures say that Hebrews 13:4, marriage is honorable in all. So it's a good thing to the Lord for a man and woman to marry. But it's not a good thing when a woman is sleeping around with a bunch of men, because now you've become a harlot, a whore, a slut. And men, biblically, and a lot of y'all may not like this, but biblically, a man is allowed to have multiple wives and concubines. Okay? But if a man has multiple wives, those are his women that he's supposed to take care of. Okay? We're not justifying a man going out here and sleeping with a bunch of Israelite women, having kids, and then running away, not taking care of the kids. No. If a man sleeps with a woman, those are his wives. You're supposed to take care of the kids and take care of the woman if they deal with you in order. Okay, but as you see, this whole society's concept of marriage and sex has been distorted, man. But that's why we're reading here Hebrews 13:4 in the NLT. It says, give honor to marriage and remain faithful to one another in marriage. The Most High will surely judge people who are immoral and those who commit adultery. So the Lord is not with sexual immorality and that adulterous spirit. And that's another part of the sexual immoral spirit here in America. Adultery is glorified. Again, we're not just getting on you women. You men play a part of the problem too. A lot of men call it getting their get back when, let's say they have an issue with another man. Well, they'll try to go sleep with his woman. And they'll try to flex the fact that they just slept with his woman. Or, oh, I took your bitch. It's wicked to take someone's bitch. It's wicked to take someone's woman if they're actually together. It's wicked to sleep with another man's woman. That's not cool. The Lord, that's not cool. That's not a good thing. That's wicked. That's adultery. And you may laugh now, but the Lord is going to kill your ass. He's going to kill a lot of you people, man, for being sexual immoral, and committing adultery. A lot of y'all are going to die here in America. A horrible death. A horrible death. A lot of y'all are going to get raped, killed, murdered, man, eaten alive. All types of crazy shit is going to happen to y'all because y'all hear these words, y'all hear us outside, and y'all think it's a joke. Y'all are laughing about it, saying it's not a big deal. Well, it's going to be a big deal when you're laying in the street in blood, man. All right, so yeah, that's really it. Yeah, it was on my spirit to go into that, man, because I've never this overly sexualized society. I've never liked it in my spirit. I've always hated it. It's always been wicked, man. So I make these videos on it every now and then, because order is going to be reestablished on the earth. All right, when Yahweh Shai comes to rule it. So Lord willing, this was edifying. All right, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Shalom.